All right, hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Hey Ashbot, yeah, it's great that you finally caught 10 minutes of it. Yeah, I'm hoping I'll be doing this more regularly, so you'll have plenty of chances to catch on days when you have a bit more time. Right. Let me just copy this link. Oh, is this something? All right. Okay. Thanks for great tutorials. Nice. Yeah. Thanks for watching them. I'm glad the videos have helped you. You're making this for the DOTS course. Yep, that is indeed correct. So I've been working on basically building the prototype, doing all kinds of things, and yeah, still got quite a bit to do. So first got to do the prototype, and then eventually it will become a full step-by-step course. But yeah, still quite a bit more work to go. But so far, it's actually progressing quite nicely. Avatar check. Yep, you're this guy. Right. Is the music coming on okay? The levels? Yeah, I think it's good. It's on -30, -40. Should be good. All right, okay, so basically got a bunch of tasks that I still have left to do. So here's my rough to-do list. There it is, tons of tasks, tons of things. So still got to implement resource nodes, the building rally point, handle the construction. I've got to try out sound. I still haven't seen if sound is working in dots or not. I got to build the defensive tower. I think that one should be fun. Oh, and just finish up the fog of war, which is what I was building quite a while ago, so that should be interesting. And validate some stuff, get more building visuals, zombie visuals. I've got to implement some kind of grid system using dots, so that's going to be interesting. A way for units to randomly move around, and some building placement rules. So yeah, definitely still got plenty of things on my to-do list, so let's try to get a bunch of those done. Okay, I just clapped next to the microphone, and apparently it went way up, so sorry about that. Oh, hey, Wayne Games. Hey, how's it going? I hope you're enjoying DOT since the 1.2 release, because things have been quite nice. Can I ask you something? Yep, feel free to ask questions, and I will try my best to both work and answer questions at the same time. So yeah, basically this morning I was working on the Fog of War system, and I think I've got it working. The only thing is I still gotta figure out, do I like it like this, being a bit more pixelated, or something that is quite a bit more. But yep, I've got both Fog of Wars, so the active Fog of War, so I can't see anything outside of it. Then they explore, they come back. Oh crap, I forgot to enable the second one. Enable the second one, and yep, now it does work. So there's a persistent Fog of War and a active Fog of War, and it is actually working quite nicely. So yeah, and something else that I also have to figure out is how to make the Fog of War work with the visuals, because right now I really just got a simple image on top of everything else. So yeah, I really got just literally, I got a bunch of shader code in order to make some shader magic in order to draw. Actually, these images up here, this is actually the Fog of War texture. So that one over there is the active Fog of War, so all the units. So as I move the units, you can see that little texture being expanded. So that is the texture that is being drawn. As you can see, each unit has a giant circle on top of it. So that's basically what's being rendered onto that texture. But that one is just rendering just that one, just what is active right now. Meaning if this unit now goes back, that one now goes back. So that is for the active Fog of War. And in order to make it persistent, I basically added a shader that takes two textures. So the texture for the persistent Fog of War and the one for the active Fog of War, and basically just adds both of them together. So that is how I end up with this texture. So it takes the active, it takes the persistent, multiplies both of them together, and I get the one that I use. And then I can expand and go back, and it goes like this. So it's a simple system, and yep, the Fog of War is actually working along quite nicely. So yeah, I was working on this morning, and yeah, actually managed to get it working quite nicely. So that was nice. You have any suggestions for junior game developers looking for jobs? I mean, I think the suggestion is like the main one, which is really just apply to tons of jobs. That is, although keep in mind, anything that I say on this topic, I'm not an expert in finding jobs. I've never had a quote-unquote real job. I've only ever worked for myself making my own games, so keep that in mind. But yep, I would say definitely apply to as many places as you can. And specifically for game development or programming, art, and so on, definitely make sure you have some kind of portfolio that showcases your own skills. I think employers prefer that quite a lot more than just having saying, okay, I've got a degree from some random place. So yep, that is my very rough advice on that topic. If you're using simple low poly characters and stuff, pixelated fog looks fine to me. Yep, that's exactly what I was saying. Since the characters, they're going to have a few more frames of animation, but it is going to be like this, so kind of like a slow stop motion style with very blocky characters and so on. And I do think that with that, having the pixelated fog of war does look nice. I could actually make this even more pixelated. Again, that's one of those things that is just visual, so regardless of whatever I decide to go with for the course, actually I don't know which one was the... Yeah, there you go, just like that. Much more pixelated, super harsh things, which does have an interesting style. But again, you know, like I said, so basically on the course I'm going to teach one thing, but always keep in mind that anything that has to do with visuals, you can then always improve upon it and make your own visuals, whatever you want. Want to ask, will the course be paid or free? Both. There won't be a normal paid version for the entire course, and I will make a free sample video here on YouTube. Still not sure how long, but maybe, I don't know, like a third of the course. So if you want to learn dots in general, then you can just watch that. And if you want this specific project with all of these features, then you can watch the whole thing. So hopefully, regardless of your budget, you should be able to learn quite a bit. Hey Mauricia, hey, how's it going? None of my current projects need dots, but maybe I'll use it in the future. It is definitely an extremely useful skill to have in your toolset. And as always remember that dots, you're not forced to go fully dots. So you can definitely have a game that is like 90% game objects, and then you use dots. You can use either entities or really just the job system. Use that for those super hot, for the hot path logic, for things that run constantly, like for example, pathfinding. So you can have 90% of the game using regular game objects as usual, then use a tiny bit of dots for the place where you need to. That is definitely one great way to use it. Remember to pin something important. Good point. Okay, so something important. I just, in case you don't know, I just started the Game Dev Report. News for Game Dev, Tech, and Gaming. So if any, oh crap, the little icon. Oh crap, I can't. I can't click under the little heart icon. Okay, that's tricky. Yeah, so if any of you have seen my videos on the Game Dev Report format, making those videos takes a ton of work, so it's not something that I can regularly do, but I can definitely write a newsletter, something a bit more common. So if you want to keep up to date with various tech, game dev, gaming news, if you want that, then you can check out the newsletter, you can subscribe to it, or you can just watch the edition. So this is the first one that I put out, 26. Yeah, this was yesterday morning. So if you want to keep up to date with news, you can go ahead and sign up for that. It's actually, I enjoyed writing this, so it should be fun. I mean, because I'm usually mostly keeping track of the news either way. So basically just need to write a bunch of text to summarize my thoughts, and it can be something nice for you to stay up to date. So that should be fun. So if you want, definitely check out that link. Okay, so let me try to do a little bit of what if there is some interactable buildings behind the fog of war? How do you make the player interact with them by mistake? That's actually something that I still need to figure out, because right now this is really just a visual thing. So for example, if I were to place some kind of enemy, now tricky thing is actually over here on the scene camera, because all of these are visible all the time. Can I actually... Because I can, right? Isn't there a way to modify what layers the scene Yep, there it is, right there. So let's not see the minimap or the fog of war. Okay, so that makes the scene view a little bit more clean. But yeah, oh, and let me just stop clicking on these buttons. So that's the fog of war and this one. Okay, now I can click through it. So yeah, because basically right now the issue is that it is really just, it's just a mesh like that. So I still need some extra logic in order to know what positions are hidden in the fog of war and which ones are not. So I still gotta handle that logic. But so far for handling all this complex interaction with the textures, this took me quite a while to figure out, but I'm quite happy with the result. It does work exactly as I want to. So I've got the 2 fog of war, I've got the active, I can go explore, then go back, and that one stays explored. So that's actually quite nice. That should be fun. What do you use to read your news? Are you subscribed to any news sites or something? A bit of everything. So I check Reddit, I check Twitter, just randomly read through things. Then I check, for example, the Game Discover Co newsletter. I highly recommend this one. It's also really awesome if you want to learn about marketing in terms of Steam, PC, console, and so on. I highly recommend you follow their newsletter. It's actually really awesome. So this one also has some really great things. So that and various YouTube videos, tons of YouTube videos for finding all kinds of things. So basically, I'm constantly researching things from all sources. And basically, the only difference is now I try to write them in some specific place so that I can then go back to it. Been working on a comprehensive video lecture about game design docs. Oh, that's interesting. Do you ever use them in your workflow? Not really, or rather my game design docs are super high level, super general. So I don't ever do something where it's like 50 pages talking about each individual thing that I'm going to do. I normally don't go that deep, but that is very much a personal preference sort of thing. So if you do enjoy working with super detailed game design documents, if so, then definitely go ahead and use them. It's just, my advice would be experiment with both ways. Experiment with doing something just a high level overview and then go build a prototype right away, or build something a lot more detailed and then build a prototype. Try both approaches and you'll see which one works best for you. Because for me, yeah, just making something super high level and then working on the prototype right away, I find that works quite a bit better. Because otherwise on the game design document, usually I end up designing way too much, but then I make the prototype and I have to iterate upon it in tons of ways. And eventually the game design document just ends up being outdated. So that is why for me, usually don't go super high level, I usually just go for a super high level overview. Okay, so let me do a little bit of work and then I will talk about both the project, 1-page doc versus 20-page. Yep, definitely. So in my case, very much as a 1-page doc, super thing. Okay, so let me do a little bit of work, like something simple that I wanted to make was just a defensive tower. So how am I going to make that tower? So, and let me just, okay, so this fog of war like this. Actually, I should probably disable the fog of war right now, but anyways, just leave it like that. Okay, so let me make a building. So let's see. Oh, right, and let me just clean up this code because yeah, I was experimenting with all of this, so I don't need to do all that. I'm pretty sure that I do need to copy paste those and then do that one. I don't need to paste that. And then just like this, and nope, none of this. These were all the other approaches that I tried, but nope, just like this, it works actually surprisingly well. Okay, all right, so on the building type SO, over here, let me put a defensive tower, some kind of building, and now let me construct that building. So as usual, I'm using a scriptable object to handle the types. So for all the various things. Over here for the scriptable objects, I'll make one. So this is going to be, what did I call it? I already forgot. Called the defensive tower. Defensive tower. Okay, I've got a defensive tower like that. Let me add the list as well. So, wait, oh, I put the list on the building type SO list. Put this on the other window. No, not that one. Building type SO list. Oh, it's on this one. Okay. So I want the defensive tower. I want to do that. When is Wyman going to invite you onto the Game Dev Show? He has invited me several times, so he said I'm always invited. Usually the thing is it's a timing issue. So I usually watch a show like every week. I always just save it onto my phone, and eventually when I'm walking the dogs, I'll listen to it. I quite enjoy it. But yeah, usually it's a timing thing. Because usually I'm always super busy when I realize, oh, it's live right now. So yeah, but yeah, I would love to definitely join up with them at some point. That would be fun. Want to say I bought your turn-based tactics course and it's been such a huge help. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it. That was a really fun one to both make and to see people go through it. It's actually, I think it's a really great one for taking your skills basically from beginner to intermediate to advanced. I think that's actually a really great project for learning. So yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay, so I got the building type. I don't have a prefab there. That's one thing, it's the prefabs on this are quite tricky. So defensive tower. Let me go inside it, then I just need to come up with some kind of different visual. So let me go a visual for the defensive tower. And what am I gonna put it? Maybe a brown sort of thing. All right. It's on the visual for the defensive tower, put it like that, and let me make it quite a bit taller and a bit smaller on this one. So maybe 2.5, 2.5. Okay, that's way too tall probably. And is this one going to be selected? That's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Okay, so this one is going to be a building. This one's going to be a defensive tower, and it's not going to be a building barracks. And I really just need to store the type, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't need anything. So 2-1 building defensive tower authoring. And let's open it. And let's write the usual boilerplate code. So I've got first up here a public struct for the building defensive tower. This one is an I component data. And this one's going to be empty. Okay, and then up here a class for the baker, implementing the baker of the type building defensive tower authoring, and just do it like that. And here just need an entity get entity. In this case, this one is going to be dynamic, it's going to move, and then add component onto this entity, new building defensive tower, like that. Yep, I don't need any components, just needs to exist. Sam, how is the dots progress so far? It's coming along nicely. So I was working on both the minimap and the fog of war earlier today. So yeah, it's going nice. Still got a... oh crap, that went into the wrong hole. Still got quite a lot of work to do, but so far it is coming along quite nicely. So I don't want barracks. I do want health, I do want friendly. And this one is going to be a defensive tower. Okay, so now this one for shoot. Okay, so first let me just place the tower. So for that, let me go inside the canvas and let me clone one of these buttons. Are these untoggleable? Nope. So why can't I click on them? Oh, I disabled gizmos. Okay. Building the golden harvester, the unit. I'm pretty sure the unit, that one is not meant to exist. The enemy. Let's put it all the way out there. And okay, let's go one for the place building for the defensive tower. Inside, let me place just a different image. Maybe something, yeah, maybe in black. Okay. So now let's add the button for it. So this one is going to be the building for building the defensive tower. So I got that one. And then when I click on it, on the place building defensive tower, on this one I'm going to place the defensive tower, and just that one like that, and it should work, except I need to make sure to it's on the building type SO, I think. Yep, on this one I got a little switch for the, oh crap, I can't see under the thing. So defensive tower, and I'm going to basically gotta go into the entities reference, so the building, and I'm going to have to create one for the defense tower prefab, go inside of this one and make another one for the building defensive tower prefab. Okay, so that gets that one spawns that one, building defensive tower prefab, and that should be working. So let's place those references. When experiment with something new for the first time, let's say dots current, what approach would be the best, like reading documents, etc.? My first approach is to go and watch all the video tutorials that I can find on it. Personally, I really like learning from watching videos. I can place a video on like 2 or 3x speed and very quickly get a sense of how the thing works, so I try to do that. But when it comes to things that are like on the bleeding edge, something that is super recent, like for example dots, there isn't that much learning tutorials. So yep, in that case, it's really just going into the documentation, so the entities package. And thankfully, entities actually has a really nice documentation. So if you go over here, you've got tons of samples, tons of code, tons of text, all of it talking about what exactly is a world, what exactly is a system, and so on. So thankfully, the documentation is actually really excellent. So basically, that's how you do it. Try to watch videos. If there aren't any videos, go on to the documentation. And then, of course, the most important process of all is actually open up a project, a test project, and start writing some code and try to see how exactly does it work. So lots of trial and error, read more documentation, more trial and error, and so on. So something like that. Okay, so this one did. Let me just drag the reference. So that's the reference for that one. I just need the entities reference for this one. And let me grab the building defensive tower. Wait, did I not save it? Or did I not add to the authoring? Okay, I didn't add to the authoring. So the building defensive tower prefab, and then down here, yep, building defensive tower prefab for the building defensive tower prefab. All right. What does DOTS stand for? DOTS is the data-oriented technology stack, which is composed of 3 things. It's the entity component system, or ECS, the job system, and the burst compiler. If you put on, oh crap, I got something in my throat, that's messed up. Basically, if you put all 3 of those together, you get some massive speed ups. So, okay. On the building, the defensive tower, put it right there. Okay, let's see if I can spawn some towers. So I select the tower. Oh, I forgot to put that one. But yep, this work. That is a tower. Okay, good. And I can select it and do something. But yeah, why is the... Oh, I forgot to change on the button. So let me go... Where's my canvas? My canvas, inside the canvas, defensive tower. And this one is on the defensive tower. All right, great. So if I go, and now it should be working. What does the friendly component do? Is it just a dummy tag for identification? Yep, that is correct. So basically all of the things for the player have a friendly, and all the things for the enemies have an enemy tag. So that is a super easy way. So for example, on the unit, what did I call it? No, the target. Oh crap, now I forgot what was the name. The target, find target, that's it, the find target system. Oh, actually, this is not a, it's not a good example because the find target system, this one works for both the finding, for the enemies finding the player and for the player finding the enemies. So it's on the target component, no, it's on the find target, that's it. So basically I got a find target component that has a boolean for either this unit should target friendlies, things with the friendly tag or things with the enemy tag. And then based on that, this find target system runs on both the friendlies and the enemies, and then does an overlap sphere in order to find all of them. And then if it has the target enemy, meaning this one is targeting enemies, if so, then it's going to find if the entity within this overlap sphere, within the search target area, if that one has an enemy component, if so, that one becomes target, and same thing for the friendly. So it checks if it has the friendly and so on. So yep, basically just a dummy tag component to identify which ones are player units, which ones are enemy units. Like that one over there, that one is a zombie building. So I can click and attack that one, and yep, it also works. And this guy over here works with melee, so he gets up close, and yep, does this right. Okay, so for spawning the tower, click, and does spawn tower. Okay, now let's make the tower spawn some bullets. Now the one thing about dots is how it's really interesting, a data-oriented design, but it's also really tricky in order to figure out, oh, hey, Rootbean, you're here. Hey, how's it going? But it's also tricky to remember all of the components that make up the things. Like, so for example, on this one, on the defensive tower, okay, what does this one need? It needs to select it so that it can be selected. Okay, this one is friendly. Okay, it has health. Okay, now it needs to be able to find targets. So it needs the find target authoring. And I'm pretty sure it also needs the target authoring. That's the one that contains the actual target entity, right? So it needs both those. And then I think I also need the shoot attack authoring. And do I need anything else? I'm trying to think. Because yeah, that's the thing. It's always remembering what are all the components that are required in order to make the entire behavior work. That is one thing that is still a bit tricky to remember. But yep, okay, so that's the shoot point. And the timer max, how often do you shoot? Let's say 0.1 to shoot really fast. And for the find targets, let's find targets every 300 milliseconds on a radius of something like 15. And I want to target enemies. Okay, so let's actually see if, just like this, if the tower works or needs something else. And if it does work. Alright, look at that. A tower that shoots as fast as a machine gun. Spending some more, and yep. Alright, there you go, nice. So, there you go, simple logic does work. Just need to implement some components, and right away, the logic is working. Oh, did I spawn some enemy in the fog of war? That's funny. How to access ice system? I'm not sure what you mean. Ice system is a interface that you implement. You just have to implement. You don't need to access it. Although if you want to access a particular system, you can do this. You can go through the system API to get a singleton of some type of system that you have, or get the entity related to that system. So that can work. Is has component the dots equivalent to get component? Sort of, but it's just a boolean, so it just returns true if the entity does have that component or not. So it's kind of like doing a get component and comparing against null. So kind of like that. Although in regular code you also have has component, just don't you? Now I'm actually confused. Do you have? I'm pretty sure you do. So if I go inside it, this one dot. It has usually get component, has component. Oh, it actually doesn't. Yeah, totally forgot. But yeah, it's like doing get component, comparing against null. And yep, if it is not null, then it does have that component. Okay, let's go attract those two zombies. Follow me to the tower, and now die. Nice. All right, so yeah, the tower does work, although it definitely does not make sense for the tower to rotate, because this is rotating the entire object, and tower should really be fixed. Oh yeah, right, and the tower is also being attackable, so I can place all the zombies there, and they are indeed damaging the tower. Can they destroy the tower? I assume so. And can they take out that guy? Boom, he's all... There you go, tower's gone, enemy's gone, all of it is gone. I can go spawn these, try to shoot some enemies, and the tank trying to go through all of them, and so on. Alright. I noticed you are using Unity 6 Preview. Have you tried building the project? Because my computer freezes when trying to build. Nope, I have not tried that. I've been using Unity 6 to build this prototype, but nope, I haven't tried making a build yet. So yeah, we'll definitely try that out in a little bit. I'm not sure if I installed the module, but yeah, I'll try it out, but hopefully it should work. RTS means real-time strategy. So games like Age of Empires, Command & Conquer, Red Alert, Company of Heroes, that kind of stuff. Right. Nope. I use all these dots for physics currently. Does it work with rigid bodies for, say, mass drag-downs, for example? Yep. I mean, over here for the authoring component for all of these, so all of my units, you can see over here for the authoring component, it has a regular rigid body, regular box collider, and when converted into entities, yep, all of these convert automatically into their entity counterparts. So they have a physics collider, physics dampening, gravity, and so on. So yep, physics so far, it's actually working quite well. It's just need to attach the components and everything converts automatically into dots. So it's actually surprisingly nice. This beginning, is this a future Steam game or a future course? It's a future course, basically researching how to make a dots game using dots, and that is going to be my next course. But yeah, I'm still very much in the early stages, just building the prototype. Gotta build the prototype, then build the course, and so on. So still quite a bit of work, but so far it is working quite nicely. There you go, look at that. The tower does work, and all the zombies attacking all the guys. That works, nice. Alright, but yeah, let me add some logic to make sure that the tower does not rotate, because the tower really should not rotate. So how am I going to add that? Where did I add that logic? Okay, now this is the tricky part. Find target, no one, that one just finds the target. Is it the shoot attack system? And yep, this is the one that is rotating towards it. Okay, so I guess I can go inside the shoot attack. And inside this one, I can put a public bool, rotate on shoot, something like this. And then up here, do very much the same thing. And then this one equals this. So I put that, and on this one, I check the shoot attack. And if the shoot attack value RO dot rotate on shoot, if you are, then rotate. If not, then do not rotate. Okay, I think like this should be all I need to do. Now I just need to make sure that the other ones shoot and the other ones, where's my pen? Those rotate and those don't. Oh, I still got the fog of war textures here. No need to have that visible, so let me just hide those. That was what I was using for basically debugging, basically having the textures visual so I can see exactly what the fog of war is doing. So anyways, let me go inside. So for the tower should not rotate, so don't rotate. But for the tank should rotate. On the shoot target, do rotate. For the enemy fast, do rotate. Oh, this one is melee only, okay. And for the soldier, do rotate. Okay, so the soldiers should be rotating, but the towers should not. So these soldiers, yep, they are indeed rotating to find that one. So if I move this one to get close enough and then rotate away, and yep, it does rotate in the shoot. Okay, that's good. For tank, let's see if the tank is also shooting. So let's go put tank right next to there, and yep, that one does rotate. Okay, and if I put the tower, and nope, this one does not rotate. Woo, so many towers. Nice, okay. Just like this already looking quite nice. Okay, cool. Actually, let me... where do I have that? The cursor system, is that what I called it? Wait, was it not? No, it's the cursor manager. That's what I called it. So on the cursor manager, for... wait, what isn't this one? Now I don't remember which one did I check for the cursor mode. Where did I put it? Where did I put this logic? Oh, I put it on the game manager. Okay, that makes sense. So this one, let's put it just like this and see how much it spawns. Thank you for all that you do. Your dot tutorials is very helpful for my small Vampire Survivors-like game. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Making a game like Vampire Survivors is definitely an excellent use case for dots. Hey, look at that, all those enemies. And there you go, the towers go down. Yeah, I gotta increase the enemy shoot attack radius. So let me go inside the enemies, the zombies. You're finding target just on 3 units. That is way too small. Let's go 15. And the zombie fast, let's also go 15. Now let's see, now let's spawn a bunch of towers. And now a mountain of enemies. Woo! Nice. Oh, there's way too many. Everyone's gonna die. Okay, that's fun. And yeah, even without any jobs, anything, still holding on. Okay, so that's nice. And everyone's crunching together. I think it's the find target system that is the main thing that is slowing down. Oh crap, the tank is going under the earth. Yeah, that's the thing about physics, because right now they don't really stop, they keep pushing each other. So yeah, everything does get quite messed up. So let me spawn a bunch more towers, try to see if the towers can kill all the zombies. Everything gets messed up. All right, there's a difference between dots and game objects. Basically it's the difference between using a object-oriented approach or a data-oriented approach, which usually means massive difference in terms of performance. So either you use objects, like C# objects, or you use basically just structs, just data, and you modify all kinds of data. So if you do that, things can become super fast. You can support thousands of units, and your game works very fast because just working with data as opposed to working with complex objects that have memory all over the place. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing, but it does require a very different way of thinking. So it has great benefits, great bonuses, but it does require quite a nice learning curve. Did you see that A-Star Pathfinding Pro's latest version has native dot support? Oh, really? Oh, I did not know that. Oh, that's interesting. A-Star Pathfinding projects. That's actually very curious, because this was already insanely fast using his own custom multi-threaded code. It was already insanely fast, so I'm very curious to see if he decided to, why did he decide to go for that? That is actually quite interesting. Does he have a changelog? Changelog. Nice. It's quite amazing how this one is still being, oh crap. Why is this, everything is slowing down. It's quite amazing how, like, it's constantly getting updates. I mean, I bought this for my first game, Survivor Squad. So I bought this in 2012 or beginning of 2013. So it's kind of amazing how I bought an asset that long ago. Like, it doesn't even show here. Yeah, it was on version 3 point something, I think. So I bought version 3 point something, and now literally 10 years later, I'm still getting updates. So yeah, this is really quite a massive, awesome project. It's quite amazing how it's still being supported. It's definitely worthy of being one of the main things on the store. Oh, interesting. Doing neb mesh on curved neb meshes. That's interesting. Nice. That is cool. Yeah, this one has so many possible things, so many things. That follower entity. Oh, movement script that uses ECS. Oh, that is interesting. I wonder if it is using Unity's ECS, or if it's a custom. Oh no, it does use Unity's ECS component. That is very interesting. So yeah, I'm very, very curious, because again, the code was already insanely performant using his own multi-thread code that I'm assuming he wrote by hand. So very curious to see why did he decide to do his own. So yeah, that is quite interesting. Yeah, this one has local avoidance. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if I was making my own game, then yeah, I would definitely use it. But over here, since the goal of this project is to be able to make a step-by-step course, I can't really use a third-party tool, so I'll have to figure out my own way of implementing avoidance. But yeah, if I was working on my own project just for myself, then I would definitely be using, I mean, pretty much all of my games I use Pathfinding. Almost all of them I've used this asset in there because it is really awesome, insanely fast. So yeah, definitely. It's great to know how this one is really using Unity's ECS. So yeah, should be really nice. Right, okay, so the tower is working, so that's basically the basic behavior that I want for the tower. Let me just make it shoot a bit less, because that's way too insane. So let's put it like 0.3 or 0.4, something like that. That should be a little bit better. Okay, there you go. That's a bit more. Oh, right. Let me just change this one back to down instead of just being on hold. Yeah, that is quite a lot of zombies already. Quite nice. Okay, so basically my super basic tower. Where's my to-do list? My defensive tower. Okay, that's good. And the fog of war. Yep, it is working well so far right now. Okay, so let me place the building placement rules, or let me do the random walking just to get some. I want to make some enemy units that just randomly walk around a certain position, because right now I've got an enemy, and then I have multiple other enemies. So on this one, define target, the radius, and so on. So let me actually spawn another enemy, another regular. No, let me actually put the zombie fast. This one, let me put it over down to the side, and for this one I want to basically randomly move around. So for this one I'm not going to have some patrolling positions. So let me do one for getting some random things. Long-term, Unity puts dots, jobs, ECS, burst on backend of existing OP systems. Yep, that's exactly the goal as far as I know. So that should be really fun. How many years from now, if you use like the regular built-in nav mesh in the background, it's actually going to be using dots to make it super performant. That's the goal. So the question is, how long will it take to get to that point? I have no idea. I mean, right now things are pretty stable, and the next thing they're working on is animation and world building. So who knows, maybe a year from now, dots animation will be pretty good and the terrain might be better. I don't know, but that could be quite interesting. Oh, good question. Fog of War for towers. Yep, I did forget about that. So yeah, definitely have to add that. Love your content. It's been very helpful for me. Nice. That is awesome. Thanks for watching. I'm glad the videos have helped you. That is cool. Okay, so yeah, I need to implement the Fog of War. Oh, and the minimap. Did I have the minimap? I think it did have a minimap. But wait, did I not have the Fog of War on that one? No, I don't think I did. So this is unit fast. This one does not have a Fog of War, doesn't it? I thought it did. Nope. Okay, so this one does not have Fog of War. So let me just add it. So this one needs a Fog of War. Just put it on 0, 10, 0. And this one like that. So it should be... Oh, it's not visible, but it should be there. So for the fast unit, this one now has Fog of War. Okay, good. Does the tank have Fog of War? Nope, tank does not have Fog of War. So let's go inside the tank unit. Let's add some Fog of War. Put it on 0, 10, 0. Okay, and finally, for the defensive tower, for this one, let's add some Fog of War. 0, 10, 0. Just place it over there. And that should now be working. So actually, if I go and if I spawn a unit, if I spawn a tower there you go. The tower can now see. Nice. Let me actually lower the Fog of War just because that looks weird, but then I'm gonna have to figure out how to make the visual perfectly match. But so far, yep, I can move this guy, moves around, go back, stays like that, go down like that. Okay, good. All right, so far so good. Where was I? Is there a way of changing entity model animation or something? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Changing entity model animation or something? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean by that. There'll be a recording of the stream or full dots RTS guide in the channel. Eventually, the goal that I'm building this for is for eventually making a course. So yep, eventually it will be a full step-by-step course. I don't know how long, maybe, I don't know, 15, maybe 20 hours. I don't know how long. It's relatively complex. It does have quite a lot of systems, but yeah, no idea how long the final course will be. But yep, it will be full step-by-step from nothing until the final polished game. So it should be quite fun. I love you. Your videos always help me when needed. That's awesome. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm glad they've helped. Do you have any project beside dots? Nope. Right now, I'm mainly just focusing on this. Well, this and the thing that I mentioned a while ago, the Game Dev Report newsletter. I was writing that. So if you haven't seen it yet, this is the first issue. So I was working with figuring out the backend for this thing. How do I write all the things and so on? So yeah, that's kind of my side project, but for the most part, yep, just working on the dots thing right now. Would you use Godot? Why not? Sure, I would love to give it a try, but use it consistently in a project? Probably not, just because I already have so much knowledge with Unity that it makes no sense to give up my 10 years of experience to work on a different thing. So in terms of, oh, I thought I changed it. I didn't save it. So in terms of changing completely, nope. But in terms of trying it out, yep, I definitely would love to have some time to try it out and see that. Hey, new member, Joseph. Hey, thanks so much. Hey, thanks for becoming a member. Nice. Okay, what was I doing? I was, oh right, the random walking. So let me figure out how am I going to, let me think. So I basically just need to store the local position and then randomize different positions. Go to one, go to the other one, and so on. Okay, so that should be a fun system to make. So if I go make a random walking authoring, something like this. And on this one, I'm really just going to have a simple thing, right? So random walking, I component data. So I just have this one pre-empty, and then the usual baker. And I don't think that I'm going to need anything specific for it. Random walking authoring. I don't think I need anything. Oh crap, what did I do? Did I rename something? No, don't rename, implement. Okay, entity. And let's say at the end, this one does need to work. So dynamic, add component for this entity, new random walking. So, but then on this one needs a public follow 3 for the starting position. And on that one, I'm trying to think, because the baker, this one bakes the prefab itself, so I can't save the position here. Okay, that's actually an interesting question, because I think I need to save the... Okay, I think I need this one to be set when... Okay, so I think I'm going to manually set this as opposed to add this to every single unit. Otherwise, if it's on every single unit, then I have to make sure to update it. Otherwise, the units are always going to go into 0, 0. Okay, so yeah, so for now like this, but yeah, then I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, all right, so let's try this. So on the systems, and let's go for a new entities iSystem, random walking system. And now for this one, what do I need? Let's think. So I'm going to need to do a system API.query. I'm going to need to query for a ref RW of type random walking. So I need to query for this. So for each ref RW random walking in that little query. Okay, but like this, it is trying to remember how my wonking system works. I think I have the ref RW for the target position. I think that's what I'm using. I gotta remember, again, that's the thing about dots. I always have to remember what is the actual component structure that I'm using, because I'm pretty sure, what did I call the unit mover system? Okay, I think it is this one that takes a target position and then moves it towards the target position until it gets there, and then stops moving and sets that one to false. Okay, good. So that's what I need. So basically on this one, so I'm going to check. Why is this one? I don't know. So if this one dot value RO is moving, what did I call it? Move to target. Okay. So if you are no longer moving to target, that means this one is stopped. If you are stopped, then I want to give it a brand new position. So I'm going to go into this one, dot value RW, dot move to target, set that one into true, and then go into that one in order to set the target position. And the target position will be something random. Okay, good question. How do I get something random inside of Unity Mathematics? I don't remember. I think it's the random class. Unity Mathematics are random. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this one I need to construct a brand new one, but then I need to... Okay, I gotta remember, how does the random class work? Random, but shouldn't be in a range. Yep. So I just got to get a random distance, a random direction, and then basically just multiply one of those, apply it onto the original position. So basically it goes to a random position nearby around the starter position. So yeah, but factor 3.random, that one is not using or does float 3, does this one have a random? Nope, does not have a random. So I'm pretty sure that I have to get a random. Can use system.random. You can use the normal one, but if I'm eventually going to convert this into a burstable job, then I want to make sure that I'm only using ECS specific things. So basically I'm trying to think of where do I, because I cannot construct a brand new random here, otherwise the random position is always going to be the same one. So I'm going to need to construct a brand new one, but at the same time, if I put a brand new random directly over here on the component, then all of them are going to spawn. No, actually that could work. Or not. Huh, because dealing with random, that is actually an interesting question. Because basically the big problem is that random works based on a seed. And if I'm using the same seed on the same thing, then it's always going to be random. Oh, use the entity ID as the seed. Oh, that is smart. That is smart. Okay, let's see about that one. Random. Isn't this the this is not ambiguous. It's the unity.mathematics.random. That's the one that I want. So I guess oh, but does it work over here in the baking? I think it only works afterwards. Because if I go random equals a new mathematics.random, and this one now takes some kind of seed, but over here, yeah, if I go to this one and get the entity index, that one does that not work? Do I have to convert into uint? Uint, not unit. So like this, it's not going to work because this bake is only going to run once for the entire prefab, meaning all of them are going to have. So I'm going to need to create a brand new random with a brand new seed every time that I make a new entity. But other than that, this should be working. So this one creates a brand new random, and then over here I can go inside the random walking, random walking, and grab the ref RO. Ah crap! No. Grab the value RO. That's it. Grab the random, and now what do I do? A next float 3. Do you have that? You do. Oh, you have direction as well. That is cool. Oh, that is cool. So I assume this one is going to be normalized. Okay, so that gets a random direction. So a random direction multiplied by a random distance. So random walking, or actually let's put by a fixed distance for now, and then I'll make it a random. So let's make it 10f. And then just need to add the other one onto it. So random walking, random walking dot value RO dot the starting position plus that one multiplied by that. Okay, so I think like this it should be working. Then once it gets to the target, that one sets it to false, and when that one is false, it generates a new random position and should go kind of like that. Okay, so let's see if all of this is working. Let me just spawn a new random unit and see if it does go to a random position. That visual scripting course you made is really helpful. Nice, yeah, I'm glad it helped. Visual scripting is definitely a very interesting thing. It is both very powerful if you want to use it by itself, and it's also awesome if you want to use it as kind of like a stepping stone for learning code. Both options are actually quite interesting. Okay, so let me add a random walking authoring. Now the issue is this one is going to go onto 0, 0. Okay, so let me hard code a position, and let me actually hide the fog of war for now. Let me hide both of these just so I can see that zombie. Okay, let me hard code this guy's position. So up here on the random walking, when we bake, let's bake with a starting position, put something fixed, and it's going to be on 33.7, then 0 and 18.9. Okay, so basically it's going to get that one, and now hopefully this zombie should pick some random positions around this place and never go further than 10 units. So let's see. Let's see if it does work. It's always the question. Wait, is he flying? Oh crap, I think he's flying. Nice. You're not really supposed to fly, but okay. Actually, why are you flying? Isn't this one? Oh, it's not updating. Yeah, it is flying. It's not supposed to fly, but it is flying. So let me just fix that really quickly. So when you get a random direction, so a float 3 random direction, and basically let's get the new float 3 for a random direction. But then I need to make sure that one is that one.y equals 0f. And then math.normalize safe. Let's normalize the random direction. And then I can use that one over here on this one. Okay, now it should not be flying into the air, hopefully. Have you used Copilot? I used some kind of AI autocomplete a long time ago when they had it when Visual Studio enabled it by default, but I found it so annoying that I disabled it like pretty much instantly. Generate the random float. Yep, that also works, so both options perfectly valid. So yeah, I used it for a tiny bit, but I found it a lot more annoying than interesting that I eventually just disabled it and haven't tried it since. But that was like, I was gonna say 2 years ago, but I don't think it was that long, like a year and a half ago, something like that. So now I'm actually looking forward to trying it out again, because I have heard some great things about it. So I did not like it when I tried it a long time ago, when it was very much in its infancy. But maybe nowadays if I try again, maybe I will enjoy it. So yeah, I would like to try that out and see. Okay, so let me see. Why isn't this one? You've got the random walking. Where's the move to position, patrol positions, melee attack, find target. No, where's the move to position? Oh, it's the target position. Okay. So, but why are you not generating a brand new one? Because that one should be getting there and should be... Did I not write onto it? Okay, I did not. No, I did write onto it. Okay, so that's a bit strange, isn't it? Why? Wait, did you add the other one? Yeah, that's not what I want. That's not the debug.log that I want. I want the one on Unity Engine. Use time as a seed. You can, but then it would break if 2 units get spawned on the exact same frame. So it can't be time, but using the entity index, this one is definitely perfect. It just means that I need to spawn the random on every single entity as opposed to just on the bake. So, but yeah, then when I spawn an entity, I can definitely sort that out and it should work. So right now I just got to figure out why is it moving, but then doesn't move again. I'm not sure why you are not moving. Yeah, because that one gets there, but then why are you stopping? Why are you not... Okay, because it is constantly generating the same... Why are you generating the same... Bake work one time? Yep, when you bake a prefab, that works just once. And then the entity that gets baked, which is the entity that you then use for insatiating, that one is going to have the exact same data as it did when it was baked. So that is why the bake process runs just once. So in order to make sure everything is unique, I need to make sure to initialize this code every time a unit is spawned and not just here on the bake. So when I make some kind of building that spawns zombies, I need to make sure that whenever you spawn a zombie, you have some kind of new thing onto it. Inject a random into it. Yep, I mean, by doing a new random, that is kind of like injecting a new random into each entity. So yep, that is exactly what I'm going to do. When I spawn a new zombie, I'm going to run this code to give that zombie a new random based on that Unity's entity, as opposed to just this, which means that all of them get the same thing. But anyways, why is this one spawning the exact same thing? It's because trying to figure out if it's because the starting position is like that, so it is getting some kind of offset. Oh, I think I know the issue. I think I know the issue. The issue is that when you modify a random, then I'm pretty sure you do need to save it again. So I'm pretty sure this is the issue. So I need to store a random for this random. Oh crap, what did I write? This one is the random inside of Unity Engine.mathematics. Wait, is it not? Debugging, why is this adding a bunch of random stuff? Oh, because I had the Unity engine. Okay. So I spawned that random, then I use that random to generate a brand new float 3 direction. and then I'm pretty sure that I do need to save it. So I need to go inside the random walking, use the value RW, and then update the random using this random. I'm pretty sure that's what I need to do, because yeah, I need to use, yeah, I guess using a value RW, that would automatically save it, but like this, it should work. So I grab the read only, I do a brand new one, and then I write back the updated one onto it. So let's see if that one works. Ever thought about making a karting game? Not really. I gotta say, car games are not really my kind of genres, so I haven't really thought too much about it. I've only done the super basic. I mean, honestly, the most interesting thing that I've done with cars was the one about using machine learning. What did I use? Yeah, there you go. This was a fun one. This was a really fun project to research, basically using machine learning in order to teach a bunch of cars how to drive through a track. Yeah, this was definitely a fun one to make, trying to set up the track, trying to do all the things, putting them all in training. In the end, it did work. In the end, they did indeed train. They went through all of it, and they did manage to get through it. So yeah, that was a fun project to try out. But yeah, in terms of normal car games, nope, haven't really done much, just because it's not necessarily my genre. But yeah, it is definitely an interesting thing. Yeah. Have you seen Getamin's videos? I've seen a few. They seem very advanced, like he used to work for Unity and knows everything under the hood. Oh, nice. I've only seen a handful of them. I don't know if it was you or someone else. Someone else mentioned the channel recently. And yeah, I added to my list to be able to see it, because I'm pretty sure I've only seen like one or two. I thought the channel was like stopped for some reason. I don't know. I thought it was one of those dead channels from years ago, but no, apparently still posting. And yeah, just looking at the titles, it doesn't look quite interesting. So yeah, I haven't seen many of them, but definitely gotta look into it, because just based on the title alone, it doesn't look quite interesting. So yeah, definitely gotta find some time to go through those. Doesn't look quite nice. Okay, so is it working? And yep, it is working. Nice, look at that. The zombie randomly moving around, goes from position to position, never goes quite off the offset. So it's got that starting position. Actually, why is this visible? Hide it. It's got that position and picks within 10 units of it, just like that. Nice, that is cool. All right, that's awesome. So that worked quite nicely. So yeah, basically the issue was that I was using the value RO, and if you use that, it's only read-only access, meaning it is not updating. But the way this random works is you have to do a function in order to generate a brand new thing. But after you do, it is going to update this random. But again, since this whole thing is data-oriented, updating this this structure does not update the actual position in original memory. So that is why down here need to do a value RW in order to write back onto it. And yep, now it does work. So now for the random distance, so float random distance, let's go inside random and do a float. Does this one have a min and maximum? It does. So for minimum, let's say 3F, and maximum, let's say 20F. Or 20F, that's a bit too big. Let's say 15. That's the random distance, and let's go like this. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't need to. Yeah, just like that, it does work. So yep, so this one should have that, and then just gotta figure out the other issue about setting up not during the bake time. So I'll have to see that. That's fun. Quick question, but fundamental. How do you set up a game menu to hold the entity systems back before the game starts? That is a very good question, and honestly, right now, I don't know the answer. I do know that is an issue, because over here in this project, I did import some assets in order to try doing some things. And when jumping into those asset scenes, all the systems are working. So yeah, that is definitely one question that I still don't know the answer right now. I will have to figure out how to make that work, because yeah, I'm really not sure. I think again, I haven't researched it too much, but I do think one way might be on all of these systems, implement the onCreate, so public void onCreate. Okay, this one isn't adding. So basically implement the onCreate, and then over here you can add system API that require, no, which one is it? I never know which one. Require for, oh no, it's the system state. Yeah, I think that's it. So I gotta use some kind of system state, and on that one, required for update, and then create basically some kind of entity that exists only on the game scene, only on the main menu scene, and so on. So yeah, exactly, Skippy. Yeah, exactly. So you've got the exact same idea that I have. So I haven't yet tried that, but I do think that is going to be the easiest way to handle that. Basically, I have one entity that only exists on the main menu, one only on the game scene, and then this kind of logic in order to make sure it works. But yeah, that is definitely one issue that I noticed right away as soon as I loaded a different scene. So yeah, it's going to be, but yeah, hopefully with that option, it does solve it quite easily, I hope. So yeah, I was going to say, oh, right, just make sure that one works, then test with 2 units and see how the second unit isn't quite gonna work. Okay, so that one is walking there, it works. Then let's see if it goes to a different distance. I can't quite see, but it looks like it. Okay, where are you going? Like that, about 5:15. Okay, so yeah, I do think it is. Yeah, that one stopped there. So yeah, it is working. Okay, good. Nice. All right, awesome. However, now if I duplicate this one, and if I put it over there, he should randomly rotate around there, but no, he's gonna go onto this position. That is because the position is hard-coded. So that is why I need to make some kind of system to spawn some kind of thing. So actually, let me try making a building. So instead of having just the building zombie house, let's try making a brand new building. So yeah, thanks again, Joseph, for becoming a member, and thanks again, In and Out. Okay, so let's try building a quick new building. So for that, let me go inside the, okay, I've got way too many tabs open. Let me close all of this. And yeah, I got the building type SO. Ah, crap. Building type SO. Let's go inside of this one. And over here, let's make a zombie spawner. So some kind of zombie spawner building. And then I'm going to need some kind of reference so I can spawn. Actually, no, because I'm going to manually place them right now. So actually, no need to put that, I don't think. All right. Start using normal dots until I start using quantum for photon. Oh, this quantum from photon, does that one use dots or ECS? I know it's super fast, but I don't know what they use in the background. That's interesting. I mean, netcode for a game object, that is one thing that I haven't yet looked into. I mean, there are so many things to learn, so yeah, it's kind of tricky to find the time, but yeah, definitely. I mean, eventually, if this game goes well, then I would love to then make like either a second course or just a quick free expansion on adding multiplayer to the game. I think that could be fun. So depending on how complex it is to add the building zombie spawner, depending on how complex it is to add that to add multiplayer, that could be an interesting little expansion. For the building zombie spawner, and basically this one is going to spawn a whole bunch of buildings. So this one, you got a building, you are a zombie spawner, and I'm going to need to add the authoring component for it. So a new building zombie spawner authoring. Oh, crap, I can't read it behind the people. Yeah, the little guys are amazing, but sometimes it kind of blocks. Did I type it correctly? I did. Okay, good. Right. So over here, for a public struct building zombie spawner, I component data, okay. And then up here, the usual public class baker of building zombie spawner authoring. And on this one, let's implement the class entity. I can't even remember how many times I've written this boilerplate code, but it's definitely been quite a few times. So add component on this entity, new building zombie spawner. And on this one, I'm going to need to have some kind of float for the spawn timer and spawn timer max, some kind of thing like that. Or consider making a game as part of a team, like the Guardians, but working with other dedicated artists and devs for a sustained period. That's a good question, and Eventually, over the course of my life, I would like to, but at the same time, I'm not very good at managing people. So the idea of a longer-term project as part of the team, that sounds quite challenging, quite tricky. But definitely it is something that I would like to do. I mean, in my Flash days, I did make some games pretty much as part of the team, myself and another artist. I think I did 3 or 4. It was the game Blob Wars, Penguin Plop, Awaken 2, and Snail Rescue. Yeah, I think I worked with artists 4 times. So I was a programmer with an artist, so a team of 2. And it was a mixed experience. Some games were really awesome, other games not awesome at all. So yeah, working with someone for a long period of time does require a different set of skills that I'm not sure I have those skills right now. So, but ideally, yeah, because I mean, I suck at doing art. I even suck at just finding assets in order to use them in the game. So being able to have a dedicated artist, someone who actually has an eye to be able to figure out what looks good and just tell that person, okay, I need this building asset to do this kind of thing, and having that person know exactly what to do, yeah, that sounds really awesome. But yeah, it's the find the right person and learning how to communicate and work with 2 people. That would be quite an interesting thing. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, nightmare. So yeah, I guess I'm a little bit risk avoidant, so that is why usually I just stick with myself, maybe contract an artist, but yeah, kind of like that. Okay, so let me just spawn that one. And for the spawn timer, start at 0F. For the spawn timer max, yeah, let's say 2F, and then we shall see. Okay, so this one is super simple. Just add the authoring component, and that should work. Now let's see. So the building zombie spawner. So building zombie spawner, let's attach that one. Doesn't need anything else. Okay, good. So now let's make a system for it. So entities iSystem. So building zombie spawner system. Now let's see. What about pathfinding? For this, I'm planning to go with flow field pathfinding, which is something that I've never actually used myself. I've studied how the algorithm works, but I've never actually implemented it. So that is going to be an interesting personal challenge trying to figure out. Because I do think for this game, which the whole idea is kind of like the game They Are Billions. I don't know how many of you know that. Steampower.com. Basically, the idea is having They Are Billions. Basically, the whole idea is having tons and tons of things. Yeah, flow field is definitely really interesting, and for this many zombies, for this many enemies, then yeah, doing this with A-star is pretty much impossible. So for this kind of scale, for this many enemies, flow field really is the perfect use case for it. So that is why for this project, I'm working on that. Yeah, trying to find something that works with this many units. Calculating pathfinding for each individual one of those is really tricky. But calculating flow field, you just calculate the entire flow field for the entire world, and then it doesn't matter how many units you have, they just follow the flow field. So that should be quite an interesting one. Yeah, that should be quite nice. So yeah, I've never implemented it myself, so I'm very curious as a nice personal challenge trying to figure out, yeah, basically how fluid sims work. Just calculate the vectors, just follow the vectors, no matter how many units there are, and it should be quite fun. So system API, the query, what do I want? I want the building zombie spawner. I want this component. What else do I want? So this one is for spawning them. Okay, so I am going to need the entities references. So I do need a reference to that one. So here, oh, actually I already have, don't I? Yeah, I do have the zombie prefab. Okay, so I've got the, okay. So basically, all right, let's do this. So for each building zombie spawner, no, this one is ref RW. On this one for the building zombie spawner, okay, in the system.query on that, ref RW, missing one, okay. So, would zombies be an incompressible fluid? That's a good question. I guess if zombies exist in real life, I think they would be quite compressible. Meaning I think they would squish each other, so the zombies in front, they would get all messed up. Poor zombies. So yeah, I guess so. Do you play chess? Not really, but it's something that I've always wanted to learn. Like, I know the absolute basics, but yeah, I've never really gotten past that. But yeah, chess is really interesting. Definitely something I would love to learn. Okay, so building zombie spawner. So let's go and building zombie spawner. Let's grab the value RW. Let's grab the timer. Minus equals the system API.time.delta-time. Okay, count down the timer. And if the timer, if it is under 0, if so, then let's put that one equals that one dot max. And now let's spawn the zombie. And now let me remember, how do I spawn zombies? Because I don't remember. I always need to remember how to... is it through the system API? I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. So let's go into the system API. Instantiate, nope. Entity manager, nope. How do I instantiate? It's not this one. Oh, it's from the state, that's it. I always forget, because it's always, there are so many things on so many places that it's always tricky to remember where it is. Okay, so I've got to go inside the state, get the not the singleton, again. I think on this one is on the system API, like get singleton. Yeah, that's what I want. For the entities references. Okay, for the entities references for this one. So I grab this one right here, and then I instantiate this one dot zombie prefab. And this one is going to be an entity for the zombie entity. And now here is the tricky thing. So it's now over here. Oh, good question. Do I add the component or add it by default? I think it's... Actually, that's a good question. I haven't yet seen. What happens if I try to add a component if the entity already has that component? I actually don't know. Does it throw an error or does it just duplicate it? So let's try. So I want the random walking. So let's try putting this one on the starting position. Oh yeah, I didn't even set the position for this one. So the position, I guess I need this. So the ref RO local transform for this one. So let's get the ref RO local transform. Get the transform in order to get the position for this unit. Because yeah, I need to spawn the zombie entity and then state.entity manager. Actually, because I think this one, doesn't this one have, yeah, this one does have set component. Again, that is one thing that is always very confusing. Which one? Yeah, use set component. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, which one? System API using state. I don't know which one, but anyway, so for this one, let's try going to the zombie entity, new local transform. Actually, do I? Yeah, if I do new, it's going to be quite messed up. So I do new dot from position, and on this position, local transform dot value ro dot position. Okay, so it's going to spawn on this position. Then for this one, yeah, generally system API is preferred. Yeah, that's what I've heard, but it's always so confusing how there are so many. But apparently it doesn't have. Okay, so system API has set component, but does not have add component. So yep, okay. So apparently that one can set, but cannot add a component. And I want to test if the add component, if that one does work or if it throws some kind of error. Okay, so for the starting position, that one is going to be the same as this one right here. And wait, where are you? Wait, what? Cannot convert to component type. Wait, am I using the game object? What is a component type? I don't think you can use an entity manager for structural change. I think you can, as long as it doesn't break this query, which in this case I'm not spawning any building, so in this case it should work. But why is it not, like, what am I missing here? I'm using the entity. What is the component type? Add component can only add components by type. Oh, is that it? So I add the type and then I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess that's it, but yeah, I guess I can add a type of. Is that what it wants me to do? To do type of that one. So I add the component and then I set the component? Is that what it wants me to do? I'm pretty sure that I've done add component before, didn't I? Maybe not, maybe not. Anyways, so let's see if this one does work. So new random walking, put inside the new random walking. Then with the start position, yeah, first add and then set. Okay, although it seems like there should be a way to add and set at the same time, but anyways. Yep, using an NT command buffer. Yeah, exactly. If I was, what was I doing? There was an, oh yeah, I did, building barracks, was it? On the building barracks, okay. I knew there was a place where I spawned some entities. Yep, it was on the building barracks system over here that I was spawning some barracks. Okay, so on this one I wasn't adding any component, I was just setting it in here. And yeah, in order to make sure that... Okay. Can make extension methods. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, the bullets, yeah, that's what I was doing, wasn't it? I'm trying to think of what was the issue that I had where the bullet was being spawned on 0, just to... Wait, no, it's not bullet, the shoot attack system. I think it is this one. Yeah, there you go. This is what I was looking for. So update before that one, so that when it spawns, it goes on that one. So just making sure this one does not have that issue. But anyways, so yeah, apparently first add the component and then set the component. Okay, sure, fine. I guess that works. And now on the random, now it's over here that I can do a brand new random, and I can use this zombie entity.index. And now this will indeed have a normal, a unique random for every single entity. Okay, so yeah. So like this should be working, and the authoring already put it so hard-coded every 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds it should be spawning a zombie. So let's see. Oh crap, it's already 7 p.m. Well, that makes sense why my dogs are already a bit stressed. Okay, all right, let's see. There you go, got an error right away. Why is there an error? Structural changes are not allowed. Really? Well, that's interesting. Oh, I guess that's why I didn't have this issue. Oh, interesting. So instantiating is not considered a structural change, but adding a component is. That is interesting. That is interesting. Okay, all right. So I need an NT command buffer. NT command buffer. And which one was the one? Again, another thing that I gotta remember how to work. I think I used an NT command buffer at some point, didn't I? I think I can follow transmissions. I'm a bit lost in this project. Yep, that's perfectly normal. I mean, these live streams are me just researching for my prototype, so you're not expected to follow everything that I'm doing. But yeah, on the final course that won't come out of this, the final, I don't know, 20-hour step-by-step course, then it won't work. What is the NT command buffer? That is just a way to queue up a bunch of commands so you can execute them afterwards. Oh yeah, I used them when I made the bullets in order to destroy them afterwards. That's pretty much what I did. And yeah, so here I use an NT command buffer, but there was another place. So again, this is one of those questions about how NT command buffer works, because there's this way: create a new command buffer, playback, and that's it. And the other way is to go inside the end simulation NT command buffer, and then you don't even have to do the playback as it does afterwards. So I'm curious as to which one is supposed to be the quote-unquote correct way of doing it. I don't know. Should I create a brand new one and then playback? Or should I use that one? Yeah, I don't know which one is the correct approach, but anyways, let's go with this one, and then we shall see if this one has some kind of negative sort. Okay, anyways. So on this one, then I add a component on this zombie entity, and there's going to be this component. Okay, and then on this same command buffer, I have to set a component on the same zombie entity, and for this one, it is going to be this one. Okay, so it has that one, and since this one isn't there, it should be called automatically. So let's give it a try. Playing back in ECB creates a sync point. Oh, interesting. So I guess this one would be the preferred option, since it wouldn't necessarily create a new sync point because it only syncs at the very end. So yeah, I guess, so yeah, good point. So I guess this one is probably the preferred method, and only use the other one if you want to manually play back some kind of thing. Okay, all of this and I totally forgot what I was doing. Oh right, spawning the zombies. There you go, they are being spawned. They are being spawned, but no. I think they are working. Yeah, they are spawning in there, and they are going to a random position directly on there. Nice! So I do think it is working. So I've got that building spawner, and I place another one there, and another one there. And all of them should be spawned, and then going in there. And let me actually just fix that, because it's annoying how they spawn on top of the building. And the buildings probably should not have fixed solid colliders. So I think by making it a trigger, that should fix that issue, and I don't think it will cause any more issues. So there you go. They are spawning there, they are spawning there, spawning there. And yep, they are indeed just randomly walking around on those positions. Nice, and it does work. All right, cool. And if I spawn some towers, and the towers are going to be destroyed. Okay, let's see if they destroyed. Oh crap, it destroyed the spawner. Anyways, okay, so let's see if they destroy it, and now they go back into random position. And they're kind of fighting each other, so obviously they need some avoidance, but yep, they are definitely going somewhere and going like that. This menu shows you which point each ECB system is being executed. Oh, does it? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess, so for the building spawner system, which right now is no longer the zombie spawner system. Wait, it says 2 entities still? Because they're all dead, so the entities still exist at some point or not? I'm not sure, but yeah. Which is nice. A flock moving system. Yeah, might need something a bit more complex. Although, honestly, once they're a bit more spread out, or if I just add some simple avoidance detection, then yeah, this random kind of logic does work. And yeah, so there was one building here, one here, one here. And yep, they are indeed spawning, and they're going exactly like that. So that is cool. Nice. All right, so yeah, that actually did work quite well. So that was nice. Yeah, thanks for all of your comments. That was nice. Yeah, learning about when to play CCB, spawning all the things. That was cool. So yeah, that was fun. So this one is indeed working. So the random walking and the building for spawning zombies. So the building, spawn zombies. This one is also working. I probably need some kind of logic to have a maximum so it doesn't keep spawning non-stop. But yeah, so far it is working quite nicely. Yeah. So all right, so yeah, that was really great. And yeah, I guess that's, dogs are getting hungry. It's already 7 p.m, so it's already a bit after their time. So yeah, shout out to Turbo Makes Games in the Hot Path Show. Yep, definitely. So if any of you want to learn more about dots, definitely check out his channel. In case you don't know, Turbo Makes Games. Really great, lots of videos on dots, especially this one. I really like this one. Video on should you use dots in 2024. Really great explainer on what are the good projects for it and what projects don't necessarily need it. So that's really great. And definitely also check out the Hot Path Show. So that's the live stream, which also has Danny, who works at Unity and a bunch of stuff. So if you want to learn more about dots, then definitely look into his channel. It's really awesome. So yeah, and eventually, no idea how long, but hopefully soon enough I will have the prototype done so I can then get to work on starting to prepare things to make the course and so on. So yeah, hopefully by the end of this week I will have the prototype almost done, so I'll have a rough idea for when the course might be done. But so far, yeah, so far it is coming along nicely. It is looking nicely. All right. Okay, so let me prepare to close everything off because I gotta get going. And by the way, check the pinned comments. So if you want to keep up to date with the news as I write them, then go ahead and sign up on the Game Dev Reports. That's the newsletter that I write with all news and all things and so on. If you want, you can watch the first post, and I will keep posting, I don't know, maybe once or twice per week. Should be a fun way to keep up to date with the news. Anyways, okay, let me put on that one like that, and that will be it. All right, so yeah, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you found this interesting, and yeah, have a great rest of your week. Best of luck with your projects and all of that. So yeah, all right, so I will see you everyone next time. So bye everyone, have a great week. Bye bye, see you.